Welcome to Australasian Airlines video tutorial on FS Commander. In this video tutorial we'll show you how to install FS Commander and how to actually use the program. It's a very handy program for flight planning as well as actually flying your flight, because you can actually connect it to Flight Sim. We do recommend though that you do watch the video tutorial on flight planning prior to watching this video tutorial, because it will actually give you a better understanding of actual flight planning so that you'll be able to use FS Commander more efficiently. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll get started. The first thing you need to do is go to FSX files, and you need to download the FS Commander 9 zip file and install it. It's fairly easy, just follow the instructions within the actual folder and install it. Now once you've installed it, you'll then need to run the database manager. So you'll have to come down, you'll have to click on Start, Computer, go to Local Disk C or wherever it is you've installed it to. I usually install to Local Disk C. Program Files or Program Files x86 if you're using 64-bit Windows. You then go into Aerosoft, FSC9, and down in here is your database manager. So you just run that, and this is where it'll actually install all the scenery files from your flight sim. So the first thing you need to do is point the database manager to your main flight sim folder. So whether you're using FS9 or FSX, you'll need to tell it the correct path, and it'll actually tell you over here once you've actually selected the correct path, and then you'll be able to click Update Airports. You'll then see a lot of information going across the top here. It'll just be installing all the scenery files, and once it's completed, it'll say Finish, and then you can just click Exit, and you can close that. The next thing you'll need to do is download our FS Commander 9 flight plans. So just click on the link here, download the flight plans, and then unzip them to your main flight plan folder. So you'll need to unzip them back to again into Local Disk C or wherever it is you've installed it to. Program Files or Program Files x86, Aerosoft, FSC9, and Flight Plan, and then FSC. And as you can see, this is where all the plans are. So this is what it will look like once you've actually unzipped those plans. So we'll just go back and show you that again. So Local Disk C, Program Files or Program Files x86, Aerosoft, FSC9, Flight Plan, and FSC. And these are all the plans. So you'll be able to load the plans in FS Commander once you actually get to that stage. So we'll just close that down. Now once you've done that, you'll then be able to run FS Commander. So we'll run FS Commander, and this is the main window that you'll see, and it'll just tell you that there's loading information there across the top from your flight sim, and then it'll bring up your main airport window. So this is where you tell it what airport you want to load up at. Okay, so as you can see, we've already got Perth in there, but I'll just type in YPPH, which is the code for Perth. You then select Search by ACA, and it will then bring up the airport information. So if you were doing a different airport, say Melbourne, YMML, you click Search, and it'll give you all the airports for Melbourne. So we're going to do Perth, so we'll type in YPPH and just select Search, and there it is. It brings up the Perth. So obviously we want Perth instead of Jandakot, so you can either double click on Perth International, or you can click Select. So we'll just click Select. Okay, so this is your main program. Yours will look a little bit different when you first open it up, because you won't have all this information on here. Your display will look different. So you go in and set all that up. So the first thing you need to do is move your mouse across to the left hand side of the window, and you'll see all this information down the side here. So you've got to make sure all these buttons are pushed in and that they're actually highlighted, otherwise you won't get in all the information that's on the map. And again, if you ever want to zoom in or zoom out, you can just use the plus or minus buttons here to be able to zoom in and out. So before we do anything else, the next thing you need to do is go and set up all your display and colors and all the rest of it. So you just come across the top here, click on Window, come down to Options, and you'll then be able to select your color theme. So the first thing you need to do is select your color theme from over here, and then you can go in and set up your colors to your desired preference. I've already set mine up to the way I like it, and it looks really really clear, and the visibility is good, bright colors. But again, you can just do it to personal preference. So just have a play around with those and get them looking the way you like them. Click on display. All you need to do in here is select your font size. So that's your that'll bring up your font sizes large. I find it easier if you have it large. It's easier to read. Your aircraft size, so that will be your aircraft size, and also choose your data for FS 2004 or FSX. Next thing you do is click on flight. All you need to do in here is just change that to kilos. Come across the flight plan. Okay, now this part is particularly important because this is where you're actually pointing FS Commander to your main flight sim, to your main flight plan folder. So you need to browse through. So you'll be local disk C, program files or program files x86, Aerosoft, FSC9, flight plan, and then FSC, and that will then point FS Commander to your flight plan folder. And that's pretty much all you need to do. So just go into colors, select your theme, set up all your colors, go into display, set your font size, your aircraft size, your flight sim data, go into flight, select kilograms, flight plan, select the folder that your flight plans are actually saved in, so that it points that folder to Flight Sim Commander, and then you can just click close. I wouldn't worry about anything else in here. So once you've got that all set up, you'll then have all this information on your screen. You'll be able to see all your waypoints and your airways, everything like that. So the next thing we do is we then click on GPS. Okay, so once you've actually got your flight sim open, you've got your flight loaded, you're at the airport, you can then click on GPS and then click on connect to FS, and that will actually put your aircraft on the map, and wherever your aircraft is situated is where it will show up on the map. And as you're moving around the airport, your aircraft will be moving, so you'll be able to see at all times wherever you are situated. It'll be on the map. Now the other thing that does show you is all your AI traffic as well. So if you've got an AI traffic program installed, all your AI traffic will come up on this map as well. So we just go into GPS, click connect to FS, and then you'll be able to see all the aircraft. So as you can see, my aircraft's shown up as yellow, and it's quite large, so you can see it. So all we do is just come across the side here, zoom in, and as you can see, there's a lot of traffic there. Now this is your maximum zoom. So once you've actually zoomed in too far, it will tell you that you've zoomed in is to your maximum zoom. So you just click OK, and same as if you zoom all the way out, it'll say minimum zoom, and you just click OK, and that box will go away. So yeah, you can see here all the AI traffic in red, and if you put your mouse on the AI traffic, it'll actually tell you where they're actually flying to. So that's pretty awesome as well. But as you can see, my aircraft is quite large. It's bright yellow, it stands out, so that's what you want. You want your aircraft to stand out from the other AI traffic. Okay, this is where it's really handy for flight planning. So if you need to know things about the airport, we'll zoom out. You can see that it's got your VOR frequency here. So all you have to do is put your mouse on that, and it'll actually tell you all your information about that nav aid. This way to get your airport information, you can zoom around the map if you want to, but it's actually easier just to come up to the top here, click on this magnifying glass, and it'll bring up your airport information. So you can just type in your airport that you want there, and then it will show you the airports for the area that you've selected. So like YPPH Perth, you've got Jandakot and Perth. So all we want to do is click on Perth International, and then it will bring up all the information for Perth. So over here you've got all your ATC frequencies, all your clearance, approach, tower, so on and so forth. You've got all your parking down the middle here, and then over here is all our main information that we'll need. So it's got all your runway numbers, your heading, and your ILS frequency. So that's what we're concentrating on, is the actual runway, the heading, and the ILS frequency. And as you can see, it's also got NDB information. So this program is very handy for finding airport information. So you could do it one of two ways when it comes to flight planning. You can either use FS Commander if you've got it up and running, or you can just use the charts as per the flight planning video tutorial. So I actually find it fairly easy just to use FS Commander. I use it for my flight anyway, so instead of having to open up more charts and stuff, I can just get all the information out of FS Commander. So it's also important that you update the AIRAC file. So if you go back to our website, I'll just close that off. You go back to our website, and we'll go back to airline news. So any information you need, again, airline news, have a look at the tutorial on that. So you can see here it's got new FMC update. Now that's the FMC update, but that also has the update in it for FS Commander. So it's also important that you install that update as well. Now that's available here on our airline news page, but it's always available in our FSX files, because obviously it won't always be in the airline news. We've just got it there at the moment. So yeah, FSX files for the main area where you go to download that. Download that and install it prior to running FS Commander, and then that will bring up all the that will actually put all the correct real world SIDS and stars and all the routes and everything like that into it as well, so that when you bring up this airport information, all this information will be correct. Because if the runway courses or the frequencies ever change, updating the AIRAC file will actually change all this information. We'll update that as well. Okay, so what we've done is we've selected our aircraft. We're at the gate, so we now want to select our flight plan. So we come up here to flight plan, and we go show plan, and that will then show our actual flight plan window. So this is where our flight plan will actually show up. So the next thing we do is just go back to flight plan again and go open, and once we've selected the correct folder, like we did earlier, we showed you how to point the FS Commander to the flight plan folder. All your flight plans will show up in here. So what we'll do is we'll just for the tutorial, we'll just say that we're doing a Perth to Melbourne. So you just scroll down here. It's in alphabetical order. Now, whenever it's got the full Perth name, that's they're the international routes. So it's got Perth, Bali, Perth, Bangkok, Hong Kong, so on and so forth. But for the domestic stuff, it's all abbreviated with PH. So PH Perth, and then all your actual arrival airports are abbreviated as well. But again, you can just get them off the off FS Commander, or you can get them out of the airport chart. So we'll just close that off for now, just to show you again airport information. You can see here it's got the airport code, so YPBH, so it just uses the last two letters of the actual of the airport for this particular airport. So ML would be Melbourne. So all we do is when we go to flight plan, open, we just scroll down alphabetical order, we look for PH for Perth, being a domestic, and again have a look at the flight planning video tutorial, because it will actually show you how to actually select your correct SIDS and stars in your departures and arrivals and all the rest of it. So we're going to do a Norseman 1. So we want Norseman 1 again all in order. So if we've got runway Perth Norseman 1 runway 03, we'll just assume we're using runway 21. So then we scroll down a bit further and we'll come to 21. And we'll find the ML section as well. So there's Melbourne. Okay, again, have a look at the video tutorial on flight planning, because it will go through all the how to select the actual routes. So we'll just assume we're doing runway 21 to Melbourne RB1 Alpha, and as you can see, it's cut the rest of the information off here. So all you need to do is just select one, then you better come up here and just scroll across to the end there using your mouse. You'll just be able to come to the end of that, and so you'll see what the rest of it is. So we'll use runway 16 for our arrival. So we've got PH Perth Norseman 1 runway 21 to ML RB1 Alpha runway 16, and all you do is click open, and as you can see that has now loaded that plan. So you can see all here in the flight plan window are all your waypoints, so that's fairly easy. And if you zoom out over here, you'll be able to see it actually puts a route line on your map, so when you actually take off, it'll actually fly that route for you. Now the other thing, if you want to actually move away from the airport, if your aircraft is actually on the map and you move away so that your aircraft is no longer on the map, you'll see that it keeps automatically jumping back to where your aircraft is. Now if you want to move away from where your aircraft is, and you say want to go to Melbourne and check out some of the airport information at Melbourne, all you have to do is just come up here to map and just untick aircraft on map, and then you'll be able to go anywhere on the map. So you'll be able to click on Melbourne and you'll be able to zoom in and have a look at Melbourne. So yeah, that's a handy feature too. Just remember that if you ever want to move away from where your aircraft is on the map, just click on map and aircraft on map. And now if you want to go back to your aircraft, if you've got your flight plan window open, all you do is scroll back up to the top and click on Perth, or you can just come back to map and go aircraft on map, and it'll just automatically bring you back centered again. So you can use different features in here. You can select your aircraft that you're flying for your flight. You can choose your fuel, and once you actually get to your arrival airport, you can choose the parking that you want to go to. So you can bring up whichever gate you want to arrive at. So you just do that. Select the airport, select the gate number, and click OK, and it will actually show you where you're going to go to. So if we just take the aircraft off the map, we'll go back to Melbourne and we'll zoom in. You have a look at this. You've already pre-selected what gate you're going to arrive at. So once you actually get to Melbourne and you're taxiing in, you'll see that already highlighted your gate. So you'll be able to see on your map as you're taxiing in, you might have landed runway 1. Well, on this flight we would have landed runway 16. So let's say we've just rolled through and we're going to taxi off Echo, and you can use the map to actually taxi all the way through to your actual bay. So that is also very handy as well, especially if you're flying with ATC, like flying online with VATSIM, and they've I mean, they don't necessarily give you a bay to actually taxi to, but if you're actually doing a departure and they tell you to taxi to say we'll go back to Perth, and they say to taxi via such and such to runway 21, and they say taxi via Bravo holding point runway 21, you can actually see on your map here that okay, you know exactly where you're going to taxi via, so there's real confusion there. So again, that's another handy feature. So once you've actually set all your flight plan up, you can actually just close that by clicking on flight plan, click show plan, and that will disappear. Now you can actually fly this route if you're using an aircraft that doesn't have an active FMC, like the iFly 737 or the Level D 767, where you can physically program the FMC, such as our other aircraft like the A330 and A320. They don't have a full-on, well, they don't have their own working FMC. You can actually use FS Commander as your FMC. So all you need to do is click on GPS and click on GPS window, and this will then bring up what's known as the FMC for FS Commander. So once you've actually loaded your plan, you will see all your waypoints in here. You can actually scroll through the different waypoints, and it will show them on the in here. So we just scroll back to our main waypoint, which was Navy. This has got arrival information, so it tells us we're going to Melbourne. It's got the ILS frequency for Melbourne, so it's got your runways, your heading, your frequency. So we just go back to WP, which is waypoint, which is your main screen for the GPS or FMC. Now once you've actually taken off, you've turned all your autopilot on. All you have to do then is click auto heading, and auto heading, that will then go blue, and it will actually, the aircraft will just fly the route that you've actually programmed into FS Commander. So it will actually fly this route line here all the way to Melbourne. It is a very simple FMC compared to the aircraft FMC, so it will not hold your airspeed and it will not hold your altitude, so you have to actually do that through the autopilot in the aircraft. So you actually got to manually select your airspeed and your altitude, but this will actually fly the headings for you and fly the route. So once you've actually got to your cruising altitude, you say this is a 3.5-4 hour flight to Melbourne, you could just walk away and it will just FS Commander will actually fly the route for you, making all the necessary turns along the way. All you'll have to do then is calculate your top of descent so that you actually come into the ILS at the correct height so that you can do a ILS approach. But other than that, it does it all for you. So that's pretty much it. There's a lot more features, but you can go around and play with that. You can have a look at those yourself. But yeah, as far as being able to use FS Commander and loading a plan and being able to fly it and using it for flight planning, that's pretty much what we use it for. And yeah, we hope that this video has been very informative for you, and you'll find it fairly easy to use FS Commander for flight planning and also for actually doing your flight. So thanks for watching, and we hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you.